Let's start lab 5. In this lab, you'll speed up the rendering time for your animation and create an animated movie of your character walking. The goals are to change the settings to speed up the rendering process and render the animation of your creature's movement. Okay, so at the end of lab 4, I didn't tell you to click save. So right now, just make sure you go File, Save As, make sure it's named Project 4 Lab 4, and save as a Blender file, okay? Now I want you to save for lab 5. So go File, Save As, and just type in your lab 5 there, and now click Save as Blender, okay? So now we've got lab 5 started up. Come on over here to your buttons, and we are going to click here on the render button. Okay, and then I want you to scroll down where it says output, and you're going to change this ping to AVI JPEG. Scroll back up to your resolution controls, and here at the bottom, percentage scale for render resolution, you're going to change that to 25%. So this is going to help to speed up the process by decreasing that. It's also going to make the animation movie smaller. We're also going to change our frame range from 1 to 250 frames because we didn't make that many frames, and you'll notice that when it was playing along, it was playing all of these blank frames and nothing was happening, and then it would cycle back around. So let's change this to 55. Remember, our last keyframe was at 51, and then hit enter. And then let's just go ahead and save that for now. And now let's go ahead and render it. So we're going to say render. At the top is where my render is. Render animation. All right, and it is going to render each frame one at a time. Now, because of the fact that we changed this to 25%, normally it would have taken up this entire frame at 50% is what it was originally set at, and now it's half of that size. So it's rendering much quicker. I had actually gone in and tried to render it when it was at 50%, and it took about half an hour just to render those first 51 frames. So look at how quick that's going. This is fantastic. I'm going to pause this while it finishes the rendering process. Okay, so mine has finished rendering. By default, Blender is going to save any image and movie files you render to your C temporary directory. So next, let's locate your movie file. Let's open up our Windows Explorer, and you're going to find your C drive, and here's your temp drive, your temporary directory, and there are all of the frames that were saved. Ta-da! And this one right here where it has like the little movie strip and it says frames 1 through 55, that's the one that I actually rendered just now. I'm gonna right click on that and I'm going to copy it, and I'm going into where I would normally save things so it's easier for me to find it. So I've got my 3D art, and I'm just going to go ahead and make sure that it is in my 3D art folder so that I don't have to go, now where was it that Blender saves things again? And I could name it if I wanted to differently. I can right click on it and rename it, and I can say this is Project 4 Lab 5. Enter, and that makes it even more precise. so that I can find it later. And let's go ahead and watch our movie. So you're just going to double click on it. I'm not entirely thrilled with it. Obviously, I need to change my camera angle, right? It's at a really bad camera angle. And it looks like, you know, when he's walking, his whole thigh is coming out. I'm just going to click repeat. So hopefully that'll just keep going. Yeah. Clearly I need to do a little work. But hey, for the sake of getting it done, guys, you got it done. I'm super proud of you. Are you happy with how your animation turned out? If not, you can go back to the steps in Lab 4 and change the poses for the animation. You don't have to. You can move the camera if you'd like to animate the creature from a different angle. And just make sure that you have saved your project. So file, and then once you're in that render view, remember to get back to your 3D view, you just, this bottom left hand button, click 3D view. All right, and then that'll get you back there. And just go ahead and file, save. Make sure that you're saving it with the right name. It says Project 4 Lab 5, and that's exactly what I want it to save as. So saving it, and that concludes Lab 5. In this lab, you change settings to speed up the rendering process, and you rendered the animation of your creature's movement. And you watched it and probably found out that you need to make some adjustments to your camera. And if you're like me, you probably have to go back and change some of your poses. But anyway, just turn all of that in and you're set. Thank you.